we're trying to like precisely hand the deal, like one piece of it, like here, we just carry you all the way through. Right? Brett came to one luncheon. Right? Matt went to one luncheon. Rich and you guys went to one luncheon. Matter of fact, I don't even know if we did. I think Rich actually just went to a school himself. Called me later, goes, man, that was pretty nerve-wracking, but it didn't. The guy that does that accidentally and has the balls to do it becomes the next Matt Lovelady. Right? Instead of taking him and saying, oh, we got to have a trainer for him, we got to go figure everything out for him, let's go back to like, hey, let's be a little bit of like seeing if you got it. Right? Because we got the comp system, we got the incentive plan, we got all the tools, but we're like trying to like coddle this person, and a thoroughbred doesn't need coddling. Man, what a ride it's been, and we're just getting started 15 years later. I'll tell you how it all began, and most importantly, who it took to get AF to where we are now. There's a lot of ups and downs, and like any story of those who make it, it's all about the mindset. I've mentioned it a million times, but Size Seminars has greatly shaped a culture of appreciation financial. Take a second to think about it, and I mean really ask yourself, what do I fear most? Everything that is amazing and great is on the other side of fear. To get to the other side, you have to take risks, and more than anything, you have to believe in yourself, even when the odds are against you. Yet, the truth is, no one really makes it alone. Along with belief in yourself and having a chief belief officer by your side goes a long ways. For me, that person is Mike Duncan.
When I put on this suit this morning, it reminded me the day I met Terry. So 15 years ago, I had actually called Terry and his partner Dominique for an appointment to get them to get appointed with National Life. We went to his garage apartment in Las Vegas, and they started talking about what their plans were. I mean, this was brand new company. So I sit there, and again, the car was hot, but his garage office was really hot, and I'm sweating, and I'm thinking, going through my mind, I was like, man, how do I get out of here? These are brand new guys. So they had a whiteboard, and Terry went through the whiteboard about all the things that he's going to accomplish, how he was going to recruit 10,000 agents, how he was going to make all this money, how he's going to be the #1 agency for National Life with a lot of passion. And you automatically like Terry when he's on that roll. So I'm like, I like this guy. He's good, but I want to go home. I'm hot. And so I basically sit through it all, and I really did like the plan. And at the end of the day, he said, and I need a check for $250,000 to get this done. And so this is a brand new group. And I'm like, so you're going to do all this stuff I just met you two, and you want me to write you a check of $250,000? Wade Mayo, my CEO at the time, said, well, if you want to do it, it's out of your pocket, And I said, for some reason or another, I wrote the check. And it's been by far the best investment I ever made in my life.
Since our earliest beginnings, Mike has been a business colleague, supporter, and most importantly, a lifelong friend. He was a pivotal reason why we were able to sign on with NLG at the start, which led to Chris Antonopoulos writing the first appreciation policy ever through NLG.
Wow, I remember the first policy I wrote. That was one happy teacher. There was a big mess going on with their finances because the whole country was in big trouble back then, and they were very happy that we had gotten them sorted out and fixed up.
We've had discussions about, as you get more and more successful, and one of the things that Terry is known for is he's a risk taker. He's willing to take some risk. But I look back at the risks that he took, and if you look at him as just a risk taker, you're looking at him through a wrong lens, because he has done very calculated risks along the way. That's why the majority of the things that he has done has been successful.
Mike has been very instrumental with helping appreciation grow over the years in many ways. I think I was the first, Terry had the first contract, and I think I was the second contract in appreciation with National Life Group, and their products are amazing, their support was amazing, Mike was amazing. It was a really rewarding experience because I knew that this was a business that was going to grow very quickly.
Back in 2009, my late and great friend and co-founder Dominique Moore and I actually had something in common with Steve Jobs. We got started working out of my garage. We formed an LLC and made Appreciation Magazine. Most of you didn't know that we got started with a printed coupon book for teachers, but it makes sense because we've always been about the teachers. We thought of it as a win-win. We could help teachers and also gain access to schools.
Hello, I am Michael McBurney, and I'm a Managing Vice President with Appreciation Financial. Disruptors in the industry, could be a two-edged sword, but from a positive perspective of bringing innovative changes to an industry that really needed some of the things that AF has brought to the table in technology, innovative thinking, and in marketing. I happen to have the original first edition that Terry had come up with, the idea of presenting a magazine with coupons and discounts and different things and informative information for educators. It was cutting edge at the time. Really back then it was our social media platform. There was no Facebook, there was no Zoom that we are accustomed to today.
We went from 0 to a level 10 experience. A lot happened in just a few quick years. To make a long story short, Chris Antonopoulos and I went on a home and garden roadshow to make money to start the business.
I remember we went to a lot of home and garden shows in approximately a 3-month period, and we just really needed to get a bunch of clients and get it going fast because we knew that there was going to be a big company growing, and we knew that we wanted to get the clients' money safe, and we just wanted to get a lot of customers, and we thought, well, what better way to do it than this?
We ended up making $250,000 in 3 months. No pressure. But really, all the pressure, as you know as agents, it's all or nothing. Back then, we were calculating commissions on a Word doc. So if you've ever had problems with the back office, please remember, it could always be worse. Brendan and Fosdick will be sure to tell you.
We moved to an Excel spreadsheet. So we were working off an Excel spreadsheet probably back in like 2009, and maybe even in 2010. And then after that, we had Terry hired a software developer and created the first sort of back office system. It was called AF.net.
Realistically, you either hate me or you love me, but it pays to love me since I'm the one who makes sure everyone gets paid. At the early days of appreciationfinancial.net was our old tech system. It did the job. And then Bombshell came in and basically gave us a complete overhaul. And moved us from some old school technology into some new technology that actually made it possible for one person to do all of the work. And we've been able to grow from there.
And then Brett Moore opened our first satellite office in San Diego.
So here's what really happened, okay? There was a Regis. I had a Regis office space in San Diego there, and then Appreciation had a Regis space in Vegas as well. Well, there was a bill that was owed, and they contacted Terry. He paid for that office space for the first 4 months. Super, super supportive. I went and allowed me the opportunity to go out, close a bunch of business. Now I had a big check coming in I was super excited about, and he took 4 months of office rent out of that check actually to pay back. And so I said, well, this is business ownership 101. Things weren't going well for us financially at all. My ex-wife and I, we lived in a 1-bedroom condo. We actually had 4 little ones. We had 1 car, so we had coordinated school drop-offs and working in the office, and who was going to go to this school, who was going to go to that school. So that was the beginning part, and that's how my career started off. And I said, well, it could only go up from here.
Dom and I were both producers. In fact, I produced myself until 2014, and then I hated getting out of the field.
Well, in the very beginning, Terry was actually incentivized by National Life Group to not produce. They wanted him he had a really low commission rate for himself. They gave him like his own contract. And so Appreciation had a different one. They wanted Terry out working. So in the very beginning, Terry was out really working hard to grow the company and meet people. But the first time I met Terry in 2006, one of his agents was terminally ill with cancer. And I went to visit this person at the hospital, And that's why I encountered Terry. Terry cared enough to be there. And our systems it was so small. So in the first just couple people, it was Dominique and Terry and James Werner. They could do that themselves. So the next step was when we brought on Chris Antonopoulos and some others.
In July, we met Hollywood's Gray and Kristen Neely Gonzalez at a Sci Seminar event. Let's note that we met two of our most influential women in the business by what some may call chance or dumb luck. But when you go where you belong, you'll be surrounded by like-minded people who have the power to change your world. Remember this as you recruit to build out your team. It's not easy, but it's finding the right people. And like everything in sales, it's a numbers game.
I was a middle school teacher before I started working with Appreciation Financial. I actually loved my job. I was so happy where I was. I was working at a residential treatment center and felt that I was exactly where I needed to be. So how I first met Terry was I got a call from one of the facilitators from PSI Seminars that he was going to have 3 new chiefs at the Las Vegas Basic, and could I please come out and help with that? I first met Terry in a personal development seminar called The Basic. Some of you may have heard of it, or maybe you seem familiar with it. It's a class that I happened to be a participant in with my brother, and while we were there, we met a large group of people from San Diego. So I came out, and the 3 chiefs happened to be Dominique Moore, Terry Kennedy, and Pauline Kennedy. So that's how I first met Terry, was he was chiefing The Basic, and I came out to be on his staff. And at the time I was living in Salt Lake City teaching and thought that I had my dream life, but secretly I did want to move back to San Diego. So happening upon this large group of fun, engaged, loving, wonderful people, of course, kind of sparked my curiosity. Terry and I met that weekend, and a few months later when I joined the company, I was so happy to see him again and get to know him again, and it's just been wonderful to work with him ever since.
By the end of 2012, we had done a lot of the heavy lifting to set our foundation. We had key players in leadership positions. Our offices in Las Vegas and San Diego were opened up, and we were moving into growth mode. Everyone rolled up their sleeves. We were taking the time to set intentional goals and collaborate with one another to put our plans into action. From my code number 1, many thousands were going to eventually join the ranks, but it didn't just fall into place.
I think the sky's the limit. We've definitely taken some risks of moving to a new state, starting a brand new office, taking on adventures and things with a company that had never been done before.
A quote I've always loved holds true. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And boy, were we going to go far.